Let's talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horror.
Could one man's secret lifestyle spark Hollywood's biggest health scandal? That's the chilling question circling the glittering world of LA right now. One that no publicist can spin and no payout can bury. At the epicenter of this growing firestorm is none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Once a mogul of music, now a magnet for scandal. Whispers have turned to roars following bombshell allegations that the bad boy founder may be entangled in something far more dangerous than the criminal charges already stacked against him. According to sources and speculative insiders, a new theory has surfaced. And it's terrifying that Diddy may have contracted HIV through connections to Instagram influencer Gina too, and in turn may have unknowingly passed it along to others in his orbit. If true, this isn't just a celebrity misstep. It's a potential health crisis with Alice's casualties.
I start having headaches and fevers. I'm getting really nauseous, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the doctor again, cause what the hell.
Now let's rewind just slightly. Gina too, a model once seen hanging with the likes of Chris Brown, Nick Cannon, Chief Keef, and others, shocked the internet when she revealed in a TikTok video that she had been living with undiagnosed AIDS for nearly a decade. Her voice trembled, her body fragile and reduced to 65 pounds as she recalled the moment she learned what had been eating away at her health. Wheelchair-bound, partially blind, and barely clinging to life. 2's testimony wasn't just heartbreaking, it was terrifying. "I got so weak, I could barely focus," she told her followers, describing days when she struggled to speak. And here's where things get dark.
The flight where Diddy said to her, she testified that he showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm gonna put this video out. I'm gonna send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified to that.
If the jury
believed her, that's coercion.
Because to never named names, but her social feed and known associations did. Photos, tags, and timelines connect her to a startling number of well-known male celebrities. And while she's never directly implicated Diddy, the timing, the geography, and the silent trails of proximity have started to draw attention from internet sleuths and gossip insiders alike. The overlap is impossible to ignore. One theory, whispered by 2 former party promoters familiar with Diddy's inner circle, claims 2 was spotted at one of the mogul's infamous freak-off gatherings around the same time she would have likely been infectious. Another insists that private DMs exchanged between 2 and a member of Diddy's former entourage were deleted shortly after her diagnosis went public. If even one of these connections proves accurate, the implications could be because these weren't just parties. These were reportedly marathon events of indulgence, secrecy, and zero accountability. We're talking compounds in Beverly Hills, private jets, security teams sworn to silence, and NDAs as thick as the oil rumored to coat the participants. One former assistant turned whistleblower referred to these evenings as ritualistic, claiming that nothing and no one was off limits. Add that to court testimony describing Diddy's fixation with voyeurism power and chemically enhanced marathons, and you begin to understand why this isn't just another salacious story. This is a potential outbreak scenario playing out behind celebrity walls. And according to some, it may already be spreading. The so-called patient zero theory has been picking up momentum across the darker corners of the internet. It posits that Diddy, knowingly or not, became the epicenter of transmission within a tightly knit group of high-profile celebrities, many of whom partied, traveled, and engaged in consensual performance experiences under his direction. We've already seen former associates like Cassie Ventura describe their participation in these nights as something closer to survival than pleasure. And in the aftermath of the trial, with Diddy facing a serious sentence for transporting individuals across state lines for indecent purposes, the theory has gained even more traction. One former house manager alleged that a doctor was flown into a Miami estate in 2021 to conduct private tests for unnamed guests. The results sealed, the participants protected. The motive, speculation, points to panic.
Diddy, after the Cassie lawsuit, gets hit with a bunch of lawsuits, and then ultimately the raids, and then
Gina 2's story has now become the linchpin in this web of risk and silence. Her very existence, the photos, the overlaps, the timeline is forcing a growing number of people to ask questions Hollywood has no interest in answering. Why have multiple Celebrities quietly canceled upcoming performances and appearances. Why are some insiders claiming that private health settlements are being brokered out of court? And most damningly, what exactly is Diddy hiding about his own health? A nurse at the MDC in Brooklyn, where Diddy is currently held, claims the music mogul was moved to a private isolation wing for non-specified immunological concerns. The Bureau of Prisons hasn't commented, but in the absence of facts, rumors are oxygen. Then come the whispers of payouts, settlements, hush money, and buried contracts designed to keep the lid on this possible health bombshell. 3 individuals, each connected to Diddy's empire, have reportedly signed 6-figure NDAs in the past year alone, all under vague legal terms related to reputational harm. One source, a former bodyguard currently residing overseas, said he personally witnessed cash exchanges after unplanned health-related incidents during party weekends. Another claims a singer who attended multiple retreats with Diddy was flown to a European clinic last year for private treatment before falling off the public radar entirely. And yet, there's no confirmation. No one is talking. Everyone seems afraid.
I think when it came to, it's not just the more serious charges, but it's the more complex charges, where the jury, in order to, for instance, find guilt on the racketeering charge, was going to have to find not just that Sean Combs had kicked his girlfriend, had beat people up, had engaged in truly abhorrent behavior, but that he ran a...
But the silence may not last. The courtroom may have spared Diddy from life in prison on the most severe charges, but he's far from safe. He's behind bars, awaiting sentencing and facing over 60 civil suits ranging from psychological manipulation to traumatic exploitation. His name has become radioactive. His empire, once sprawling, is bleeding out through legal fees, asset freezes, and the public collapse of his brand. And if the HIV rumors gain traction or worse, are verified, this wouldn't just be the end of Sean Combs. It could be the unraveling of a whole constellation of stars who partied in his orbit.
Trust nobody. In Hollywood, specifically, when you get there, a lot of people don't know how to say no. That's the difference between New York City and California.
We're talking about a potential domino effect that reaches deep into the entertainment industry. Singers, rappers, influencers, even a few respected actors have been rumored to be connected to these parties. No names officially confirmed yet, but one entertainment lawyer says she's seen at least 3 NDA contracts from late 2023 that contain invasive testing clauses tied to event participation. Why would such clauses even exist unless there was a known risk? One speculative theory claims a luxury wellness spa in Malibu, known to cater to celebrities, has seen a sudden uptick in long-term private bookings from male clients aged 25 to 45. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe Hollywood is holding its breath.
In a court proceeding that has nothing to do with Wendy's career. Moreover, that were made in front of Wendy Williams. If true, that is outrageous because this judge, one, she's not in the entertainment industry, so I don't know where she would get off opining about that and why that's even relevant to her role as a judge, who's basically the judge of the law.
As the media zooms in on Diddy's legal troubles, the health narrative is quietly building in the shadows. And unlike the courtroom drama, this one doesn't require a guilty verdict to change lives. All it takes is one slip, one leaked result, one disgruntled existent, one misfiled settlement, and the dam bursts. One former choreographer who worked briefly on a Bad Boy reunion tour put it bluntly: if even half of what people are whispering is true, careers won't just end, they'll be erased. Which raises the ultimate question: what are the secrets that Hollywood doesn't want you to know? And how far would they go to keep them buried? And it's in that silence, those well-paid gaps between lawsuits and leaked messages, that the shape of a wider system starts to form. For years, Diddy's freak-off culture was dismissed as eccentric, excessive, maybe even enviable. But in the sobering light of these lawsuits and mounting allegations, those private soirees start to look less like wild parties and more like operational hubs for manipulation. According to sworn testimony and leaked statements from Inner Circle staff, these weren't just nights of pleasure. They were tightly controlled environments where Diddy allegedly dictated who did what, with whom, and for how long. And the more power he gained, the more blurred those lines between choice and coercion became.
Sorry, I'm just I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you. and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
Former dancers, assistants, and personal chefs have started describing an environment that thrived on obedience and fear. One choreographer claimed she was dismissed after refusing to participate in what she called a performance test, a euphemism used for unscripted encounters that went well beyond rehearsals. A vocal coach who worked briefly with one of Diddy's protégés described being asked to sign a confidentiality agreement after witnessing what he called emotional blackmail by design. He alleged that guests at these parties were sometimes deliberately paired with celebrity attendees who were strategically chosen based on influence, not chemistry. The message, he said, was clear: play along or disappear. What made it all possible was the machinery behind the man. The staffers, collaborators, and corporate backers who either looked the other way or helped maintain the illusion. Some of these names, once shielded by boardrooms and endorsement deals, are now quietly scrubbing their social media histories. According to one entertainment lawyer, multiple executives at a major music label are bracing for subpoenas related to what they should have known during their years of association with Diddy. That same source claimed an internal memo circulated, warning employees not to speak to press about anything related to private social gatherings involving bad boy artists or affiliates. The message was short: don't ask questions and definitely don't answer any. Meanwhile, Diddy himself is reportedly wasting away behind bars. Sources at the MDC facility describe a man almost unrecognizable from the slick-talking mogul who once strutted red carpets with diamond watches and sparkling flutes. His hair, once jet black and freshly trimmed, has grown out in wiry patches of gray. His once impeccable wardrobe has been traded for institutional khaki. A correctional officer who allegedly worked his unit said he's seen Diddy go days without speaking to anyone, requesting only his Bible and blood pressure medication. The same officer claims Diddy's weight has dropped significantly, fueling speculation that there's more going on than just stress and confinement. The prison health rumor mill, already swirling with whispers, took a darker turn after an anonymous tipster claimed that medical staff had conducted specialized screenings under direct orders from outside counsel. When asked why these screenings were kept off the standard inmate health record, the source reportedly answered, "That's the kind of thing you don't question unless you want to be reassigned." Some say Diddy's sudden shift to a private holding block had more to do with immunity risk than personal safety. One report claimed he was briefly transported to a federal clinic for extensive immunoevaluation, though officials refused to confirm. The reason that might be a coincidence, or it might be damage control before headlines catch up.